So again, we're talking today about what people are doing in retirement. They're making some mistakes, they're way behind, and so we're going to focus on what you need to do right now. And again, just to kind of show you, we went out on the street and talked to you about, again, what some of your concerns are.
I'm in the construction business, so I'm getting older. I thought I could work forever, but I'm finding little bumps and bruises and pains and aches, and I don't know how long I can do it.
John has spent his career working in the family construction business in East County. But without a company 401k or pension plan, retirement is not a given for him.
I'm 55 right now, so right now I got planned on 10 years. I would like to do 5 years, but I think 10 years is more realistic, and then see what I can do.
John has some money saved, but not nearly enough to retire.
So I was raising a family, and life gets in the way, and I just didn't do it. So I kind of don't want to blame it on myself, but I'm hoping to try to do a little catch up now.
With about a decade of working years ahead, John knows he needs a plan. But like many other people his age, he doesn't know what to do.
Who knows what the future holds, but you got a plan for it.
That situation reminds me of home. My father was a cabinet maker. He put 3 kids through school, worked and really didn't pay attention to retirement until it's too late. And I get it. If you're a small business owner, every single penny counts to keep that business alive, and then you don't necessarily think about retirement. It's worrying about, all right, well, here I have to pay payroll, I have to get the next job done, I have to put food on the table. This is so common with most individuals. But it's not hopeless, right? There's always things that you can do if you get a good plan in place.
Well, that's exactly right. And so this is pretty typical. We see this all the time. And the tendency is, well, I'm 50, I'm 55, I'm 60. It's too late. I just can't do anything. And we're going to show you, no, that's not true. We're going to give you some examples. But right off the bat, where do you start? You start by creating a written plan. You probably heard that before, but very few people have a written plan. And what does that plan entail? Well, first of all, when are you going to retire? Is it 65? Is it 67? Is it 70 years old? Have a sense of that. And look at what your spending goals are. Figure out how much you want to spend in retirement. And then start saving. Start saving today, even if you're 60 years old. And we're going to show you an example. If you have nothing at age 60, you can still end up all right, okay? Because with a 401k and a 403b, you can save $17,500 per person, or $23,000 if you're over 50. And an IRA, Roth IRA contribution, you can save $5,500 and $6,500 if you're 50 and older. So Joe, why don't we get into some examples, because it's really easy to talk about what you should do, but when you see the power of compounding, it can help motivate you to take action.
All right, so this is for the younger generation. All right, so if you take a look, let's start with a 30-year-old. All right, so now, most people in their 30s, right, they get their job and all of a sudden they start making a little bit of money. And what we find is that, all right, instead of saving, because retirement is still 200 years from now, that I want to get a nicer car, or I want to have the nicer clothes for work, or whatever the case may be. But if they foregone the car, so they didn't buy the nice car, so let's say it's a $400 lease payment, maybe it's a $400 car payment, whatever it is. So you drive the beater still, but you put the $400 into your retirement account, okay? So at a 7% growth rate over the 30 years, you have close to $1 million, $720,000. That's just $400 a month of savings. Now, let's say if this 30-year-old really wants to attack retirement and says, all right, I'm going to max out my retirement account, so I'm going to put in $1,500 per month into the overall plan. You take a look at that same 7%, now you got $2.7 million, $2.7 million at retirement. So it's $400 a month. So if you're in your 30s, find a way to save a little bit of cash. Now, if your employer has a match, that's even more money that's going to compound for you, where you're going to have these dollars. So you don't have to wait until you're 50 and you're 60 and figure out, hey, I haven't done any savings. Because $400, that's not that much money. Now let's go to someone that is a little bit behind. So let's look at a 50-year-old that hasn't done any savings. All right, so now let's say that instead of having 2 car payments of $400 a piece, you get rid of that and you can find $800. So 50 and you retire at 67. That's 67, you still have probably 25 years of retirement. 67 is still very, very young in today's environment. So 50-year-old wants to retire at 67, if they can scrounge up $800 a month, right? Now they have $312,000. They're starting from zero. Now they have 300 grand. This is not a long time period, and 800 isn't that much money in the grand scheme of things. But now, let's say they get really excited. Say, you know what, now the kids are out of school, we have some extra cash flow, we haven't saved any money. They can come up with $2,000 a month, right? $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. So they're maxing out their 401k plans. Now at 7%, $1 million. So from 50 to 67, now you retire at 67, you have $1 million plus your Social Security. Now you're looking at a very comfortable retirement. It's just tweaking the numbers a little bit. Can you find a way to squeak out a couple of extra bucks to put towards your retirement accounts to make sure that you have the retirement of your dreams? It's just looking at the numbers, saving a little bit of money. The compound interest is going to be the best friend that you possibly can. And that's all people really have to do is do a little bit of planning and figure out a way. Maybe it's not $800 at first, maybe it's $200, $400, then you build up to it.
Well, Joe, that's the absolute key, which is if you can't do $400 or you can't do $800, what can you do? Can you do $100? Can you do $200? Realize when you're saving into a retirement account, you're getting a tax deduction. So if you're in a 25% tax bracket, if you save $100, you're also saving $25 of tax. So it's really only costing you $75. So factor that in as well. But the thing is, especially when you're in your 50s or even 60s and you haven't really done much, here's the thing. You got to get started, and you got to get started now, because if you wait, you're going to be 65, 70, retiring with nothing, and you don't want to be one of those people.
Right, and I mean, here's what happens, Al. It's just like hopelessness. It's like, okay, well, here I'm 50. I don't have any money saved at all. Man, I just can't do it. You know, I'm just going to keep working, and the next thing you know, you're 60, then you're 65, and then you're 70, and then now what? So you're absolutely right. Right now is the time to start. If you haven't started, start right now. If you need our help, we'll be more than happy to map things out for you. Here's the number if you want to come in for a free retirement review. It's 888-994-6257. 888-994-6257. There it is. All you got to do is read the number. Boom. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back. We got a lot more to discuss when it comes to your overall retirement. You're watching Your Money, Your Wealth.
Hi, Al and Joe. If my husband and I file our taxes separate, can we put more into our retirement fund?